wanted to show you what we are dealing with as far as the big ridge of high pressure that has been really dominating the area for the past few days. This has been the one that's been responsible. Things going to be changing with it. We're going to see that area of low pressure that's off to the north start to bring back a bit more of its influence, and all of that's going to come together to bring back eventually more of that onshore push after seeing things becoming a bit more offshore as far as our winds here for the past couple of days. So big picture across really the western half of North America. You can see up this way across areas of more of the Pacific Northwest, especially down that way just off of the coast there where we have this ridging of high pressure. That's where things right now are looking like they are going to be flattening out. And when I say flattening out, we're not going to see as much of an amplification to that ridge of high pressure bulging its way up into parts of the Pacific. Instead of it being up this way and finding its way those orange colors farther north into more BC, you're starting to see fewer and fewer of those colors, while noticing that the yellows and the greens are coming in from the north. Will be starting to flatten things out for us. And then, so with that being the case, high pressure starts to scoot its way back off towards the west just a bit more. That's where the center of it's going to be, and we start to see a little more of this cooler weather returning. Now, it doesn't really mean we're going to see much in terms of active weather ahead here as we head on into the latter parts of the week, but we are definitely going to notice a cooler air mass in comparison to the one we're dealing with right now, but generally they'll still keeping things above average. And then you can see here, by the time we do head on closer to the upcoming weekend, that ridge is trying to build back yet again, while you'll see some cooler air starting to find its way across parts of the northern Midwest, across parts of the Great Lakes. Out that way, things will be a bit more comfortable for them, while for us, we get a little bit of that influence from off of the coast, but at the same time, it's going to be quite a bit warmer here as we head on into the end of the week yet again, at least warmer than average, and then things starting to cool off a little bit as that weaker disturbance tries to find its way in here. And you can see a ridge of high pressure that will be building in right in between there, right up this way, helping to extend up into the Gulf of Alaska at that point, while there's another area of low pressure off of the coast right there of the Aleutian Islands. So let's take a look at how this will all shape up for us here heading into Futurecast next few hours. We talked about that weaker disturbance that's off to our north. That one will be responsible for helping to produce some light cloud coverage, and maybe you can see it outside right now if you look outside your windows, that we do have this upper level cloud deck that's moving on through. It's filtering the sunshine, definitely not completely blocking out, but helping to give us a bit more of a filter look as it comes on through, and that's helping to keep things even cooler as you go farther to the north. That's where we've been noticing a bit more of the difference, and that will continue to be the case here as we head on into the night. But really, check this out right here. That marine air is going to bring back more of a marine layer to our atmosphere, and you can see things looking quite dreary early into the morning for areas and locations right up here, north coast of the Olympic Peninsula, through parts of the Strait, up through the San Juans, and more northwest interior, and that does extend down. It looks like even down through Snohomish County, we're seeing some of that as well. Now, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, there could be a sprinkle or two out there. We're going to have this air mass coming in that will be quite a bit cooler and enough moisture out there to help to enhance some of the deepness of that moisture in the atmosphere to perhaps even produce a few sprinkles or patchy areas of drizzle, convergence zone activity. You see that farther to the north, right up this way around parts of northern Snohomish County and maybe parts of, I would say northern parts of Camino or Whidbey Island and up through more of Skagit County. That's where our better chances will be, or either out towards the coastal areas, as we could have some of that maybe heavy mist in place at that point. That's going to be something that hangs with us as we go throughout into the afternoon. Better chances of maybe seeing some of that will be across the higher terrain. You oftentimes get a little more lift in the atmosphere. You need a rising air to help to produce precipitation, and so with that being the case, again, up into the mountains, we'll have the better chances of maybe seeing and noticing some of those patchy areas of light mist or sprinkles or even some drizzle here as we head on into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. So don't be surprised if you see that. I think by and large, though, for many of us, we're talking about dry conditions that are going to be hanging around here as we head on into more of Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. And then into more of early Wednesday, check it out, morning clouds, and then afternoon sunshine will be in place. We'll see how long these clouds will stick around, because they will play a role in terms of how warm it's able to get here during some of the afternoon hours that we're going to keep an eye out for here as we go on into those highs later on into the week. Now, let's show you this right here, some of those water temperatures, because they have been on the cooler side. We've been talking about how warm it's been outside and the air temperatures have been warm, but we were mentioning about the coolness of the water and how maybe even just downright cold it is in a few spots. Puget Sound never really gets all that much warmer, but here we are, 56 degrees, mid-60s around Lake Washington and Lake Sammamish. Typically, you like to get that around at least maybe 70 degrees for it to be relatively comfortable on a hot day and for us not to have to be too concerned about cold water shock, because that is going to cause your body to seize up when you go from the really hot air mass and eventually you hit that cold water and it's a shock. That's what it is. And that does cause some concerns, especially if you're trying to get out of the water and you can't really gather a bit of consciousness to get out and be able to do so. So that, along with some of the rivers, which are even colder, especially the higher up you go, will be it's something that we still keep an eye out for here as we head on into the evening as temperatures remain hot. But at the same time, too, we're getting towards the tail end of this event right now, so maybe not as many people wanting to get out and into the water as we go later on into the week with some of the warmer temperatures that we'll be expecting at that time. Now, wanted to show you one more time here. We're going to show you the 7-day forecast. Here it is right there. You can see that first alert mode is still with us here until we head on into the evening. Later on into the week, we have temperatures that will be in the 70s, even the 80s. Juneteenth on Friday, 81 degrees there. And then the official start of summer going to be with us here as we head on into the start of the day on Sunday. Just a quick update as we get towards the tail end of this, because yesterday we saw some of those records across the area as far as daily record highs. Today we have already started to see some of those temperatures exceeding some of the daily records that are on record here for today. So we are still kind of in it, but again, we're starting to see things as we head on into the evening cooling back down, and we'll see more of that, especially once we head closer to about 6 or 7 p.m. here into the night. We do have advisories that are out for the heat that are still with us until 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, the heat as far as the afternoon highs, where we could see some of those highs in the 80s to perhaps even the low 90s, those will continue to disappear, but it's some of the warmer overnights too that we're still talking about heading on into the night, so that's why we still are expecting to have some of those advisories into early tomorrow morning. And speaking on that, here it is right here. You can see that our temperatures for the overnight lows do start to drop quite a bit. We stay around the lower 60s early into Tuesday morning, but then we're talking about more 50s around heading into Wednesday and Thursday, and persisting on into the end of the work week. And a big picture overall here with those overnight lows. Here it is. You can see that some of those numbers will be right around the 60s and maybe some upper 40s here as we head on into early tomorrow morning. Now, sorry, not tomorrow morning, but this will be early into tomorrow morning. On Tuesday morning, it gets even cooler as we head on into early Wednesday morning, so we could see some of those 40s out there as we head on into that point. But it will be outside of Puget Sound, because I think that's where we'll have more the ability to cool off just a bit more and easier as we head on into that stretch of time. The afternoon highs, though, definitely taking a step back from some of the 90s that we have seen so far here today, down into the 70s. Heading into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we bounce back up to 81, so that's still 10 degrees above where we should normally be, but it's not going to be up to some of the same marks where we are here for today. And then as we continue on, you can see that as we head on into more of the following week, Sunday, first official day of summer, we'll see a high of 78. We'll see more low 80s as we head into next week as well, but we'll keep it more so around the low 80s and still keep some of those highs in the 70s as we head on into that point. Not much rain, though, when it comes to later on into the month of June. Here we go towards the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook. This is from the Climate Prediction Center, and you can see the dates between the 23rd through the 29th, almost the last day of June. We're expecting things to be near normal for most spots here across the state when it comes to precipitation. It might be a little drier than normal farther south, and then for areas across the northeastern side of the state, we could be talking about a slightly higher chance of seeing some rain out there. But for us, when it comes to some of the precipitation that we could be dealing with, we're talking about, or the temperatures, that we could be dealing with here as we head on into that time. We're talking about numbers that are expected to be above normal heading on into that stretch. All right, one last look at your highs for the day for tomorrow. We're going to see, or for today, you can see that those numbers will be quite a bit higher here for this afternoon in the upper 80s to low 90s in comparison to what we're expecting heading on into the day tomorrow, which will be back in the lower 70s and 60s. Anacortes only at 66 degrees, 68 around Marysville, 65 in Clinton. And keep in mind, too, up this way, we'll see some more cloud coverage up here, and that could help to produce maybe a few sprinkles up into the foothill communities. Otherwise, though, keeping things dry, and we'll see a mixture of sun and clouds and temperatures that will be back generally into more of the 70s for those afternoon numbers. So, okay, everyone, so you just got to get through the next few hours before things do cool down. You'll be able to open up those windows, let some of that cool air in, and hopefully we'll keep things much cooler throughout the remainder of the week. Stay cool, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you next time.